right, how's everybody doing?
All right.
Well, I first want to just commend everybody for this whole event, because really when I was asked to come out here to speak at a back-to-school rally, I didn't really know what to expect. So I want to commend Ms. Brazil and everybody, because this is a really exciting thing. So give yourself a hand. It's really incredible for the kids. I got to tell you, last week when I was thinking about what to say, it's funny how the Lord works, because I was watching TV and I saw a story about Dan Rather talking about the Detroit school system. And they were talking about the dropout rate. They were talking about the statistics of the city of Detroit. And it was really heartbreaking to see what's going on in Detroit. And I got to thinking to myself, how many other cities in the country is this playing out in? And then I reflect on what's going on here today and what Baldwin County's doing for the students and the kids and the parents and the community. Because at the end of the day, we all count, we all matter. But I want to say this is a stay in school rally, but for the students, I want you to realize this is really a stay in the game rally. Because the game of life really starts right now in school. Without the education, everything gets shortcutted. And growing up in Miami, Florida, I can tell you, I've seen some rough schools. And firsthand, I can tell you from my own experience about dropout. See, my sister, to this day, she's still living in South Florida. And she dropped out when she was 16 years old. And she's a very smart girl. Dropped out 16 years old because she got pregnant. Never went on to finish high school, never went on to get a GED. And to this day, she's still receiving government assistance and having a hard time finding a job. And every day, her conversation that she has with herself is not positive. And she's a bright girl. She's a smart girl. But so many times in life, we make a mistake or two. But the mistake of not graduating high school is more critical than you ever can imagine. No child in here, no high school kid, middle school kid, or elementary kid can make the mistake of dropping out. I promise you, it's something you don't want to do. Even when I look at my sister, she's a great girl, really has more to show for that. But if you look at the stats, I don't know if you realize this, but 2,500 kids a day drop out. A day in the country. 1 million students a year. 1 million students a year drop out of high school. When you look at the story in Detroit, they started off with the one school that they illustrated. 1,200 kids came in as freshmen. By the time they were done, 200 kids were remaining. Really and truly, it's a sad deal. But once again, in Baldwin County, that's not going to happen. It's events like this that's keeping that from happening. It's important to know, if anybody even thinks about dropping out, high school dropouts make 30% less than someone who graduates high school right out of the gate. And 80% rely on government assistance. And obviously there's sometimes where we need help, but you don't want to rely on anything but yourself as you get moving in life. I want to bring 3 things to your attention for the kids' sake. It's been my experience that people make decisions for 2 reasons in life: to avoid pain or gain pleasure. That's it. They either run from pain or run towards gain. So every one of you, whether you're in the band or all these kids that were dancing, all you saw was life and energy and enthusiasm. All the parents watching is excited for their children. That's the kind of stuff that can't afford to leave. You got to find that desire. There are 3 things. You got to find your desire as a young person. Find the desire. For me personally, and everybody's different, as I was growing up, my desire was to get out of my house. The house that I grew up in wasn't too supportive. I needed to get out. That was the fuel that got me out. Athletics was something that I had focused on. Getting a scholarship, playing football, trying to go on to the NFL. That's what my desire was. I urge every student in here, find your desire. Singing, dancing, athletics, academics. And unfortunately, in some cases, it may be just to get out of the house. Find the desire. The second thing is dream. Everybody in here has got to have a dream. If you're a young person, you got to have a dream. Okay? And as you get older, everyone will tease you about your dream. You got to have a dream. Okay? Because at the end of the day, you're responsible for your own success in life. No one can take credit for any failure or any success you have. You own all of it. So you got to have a dream. You got to go for it. And the last thing is just like Nike. You just got to do it. Without taking action, a dream means nothing. You got to go for it. You got to go for failure. Every time the old saying is you win some and you learn some. You don't lose. You only lose if you label it that. You learn something every time you fail. So you got to go for failure. And to the parents, I know it's tough raising a kid. I've got 2 kids. But in life, it's either tough or suffering. You got to choose one, and it might as well be tough, because nobody wants to suffer. These kids need your support. They need the house to be the sanctuary. They need that home every single day, parents. That's what we got to do. And I know it's tough, but every time you get frustrated, you got to be there to support. These kids need somebody to believe in them. And to the teachers, I can't thank you enough for what you do, because it's a tough job. But I ask you, as the school year progresses and you go through everything that you do with these students and you give heart, body, soul every single day for these kids, don't forget your passion. Don't forget the reason why you became a teacher. Remember something, you are the bakers and butlers to these kids. And bakers have the recipe to succeed, butlers open doors. You may be the only person that kid ever has to help get to the next level. That may be you. And in closing, I just want to let everybody know, whether you're a business owner, you're in the community, you're a teacher, you're a student, everybody in this stadium right now affects the outcome. If you do nothing, that affects the outcome. If you do something, that affects the outcome. But either way you go, you are affecting the outcome, all of us. Everybody in this stadium is personally responsible for Baldwin County, everyone, whether we like it or not. Let's make a difference, and let's make sure that we follow our dreams and help these young people achieve their dreams by giving them the support they need. Thank you very much.
And let's give our keynote speakers another round of applause. Okay, we will have our final performance